You know that feeling when you are sitting at your desk at 2 in the afternoon, and your brain feels like it is made of wet bread. You have had 3 cups of coffee, and you are staring at the same email for 20 minutes, but the words are just not making sense. You feel like a complete zombie. Your eyes are heavy, and your body feels like it weighs 1,000 pounds. You are just going through the motions and counting down the minutes until you can finally crawl into bed. You feel like you are failing at being a productive human being. But then, something strange happens. The sun goes down and the clock hits 11 at night. Suddenly you are wide awake. You have more energy than you have had all day. You feel like a superhero. You want to organize your whole kitchen or research a random topic for 3 hours. It is frustrating, because you know you will pay for it tomorrow, but you cannot seem to stop. You're tired of being tired, but your brain simply will not shut off. I am Zara. I am a researcher who studies health and why we act the way we do. I am not a doctor, but I am a friend who spent years stuck in that exact same cycle. I used to think I was just a natural night owl and that I was destined to be exhausted every single day of my life. I thought my body was just broken, or that I lacked the discipline to be a morning person. But I finally figured out why this happens, and I found out that it is not true at all. You are not broken, and you are not lazy. Your internal clock is just confused because of the signals you are giving it throughout the day. In this video, I am going to explain exactly why your body is betraying you like this. We are going to talk about the simple things you are doing every day that are keeping you in that zombie state when you should be working. I am going to give you a very easy way to flip the switch so you can have that superhero energy when you actually need it. We are going to get your body back on your side so you can stop feeling like a ghost during the day and start sleeping when you are supposed to. It is time to stop fighting against yourself and start understanding how your engine actually runs. It is much easier than you think. I know exactly what it feels like because I lived it for years. Think about your typical Tuesday. Your alarm goes off at 7 in the morning and it feels like a personal attack. You drag yourself out of bed and stumble toward the coffee machine like a character in a horror movie. By 10 in the morning, you are staring at your computer or your laundry pile, and your brain feels like it is made of wet cotton. You are just going through the motions. You tell yourself that you would give anything for a nap. You promise yourself that tonight, you will go to bed early. You are exhausted. You are done. Then, something strange happens. You finally finish your chores. You brush your teeth, and you climb under the covers. You are ready for that sweet, sweet sleep you have been dreaming about since lunch. But the moment your head touches the pillow, it is like a light switch flips inside your brain. Suddenly, you are not tired anymore. You are thinking about that project from 3 years ago. You are wondering if you should reorganize your kitchen cabinets. You feel a surge of energy that was nowhere to be found when you actually needed it at 2 in the afternoon. This is what I call the midnight second wind, and it is incredibly frustrating. You feel like your body is playing a cruel joke on you. You were a ghost all day, and now you are a marathon runner at midnight. I used to lie there staring at the ceiling, feeling guilty and annoyed because I knew I would pay for it the next morning. It is a cycle that feels impossible to break. You think there is something wrong with your brain, but the truth is much simpler. Your internal clock is just confused. It is sending the signal to wake up at the exact moment you are trying to shut down. We have to teach your body that the day is for doing and the night is for resting. Most of you tell yourselves that you are just a natural night owl. You say that your brain does not start working until the sun goes down. But I am going to be honest with you because I care about your progress. For the vast majority of people, being a night owl is not a personality trait. It is a set of habits that have spiraled out of control. You are not born to be exhausted every morning. You have simply trained your body to rely on a cycle that is working against you. Think about your relationship with coffee. You wake up feeling like a zombie, so you reach for that first cup. Then you have another at noon, maybe one more at 3 in the afternoon because you are starting to crash. You think you are fixing the problem, but you are actually just lying to your brain. Coffee does not give you energy. It just hides the signal that tells you that you are tired. It is like putting a piece of black tape over the warning light on your car dashboard. The light is gone, but the engine is still overheating. When you keep pouring caffeine into your system, you are essentially taking out a high-interest loan on your energy. You feel good for an hour or two, but you have to pay it back eventually. And here is the kicker. That coffee you drank at 4 in the afternoon is still hanging around in your blood when you try to go to bed at 11. Even if you manage to close your eyes and drift off, your brain cannot get into the deep, restorative rest it needs because it is still buzzing from the stimulants. You wake up the next day feeling even worse, and the cycle starts all over again. You tell yourself that you need more coffee because you are not a morning person. In reality, you are just stuck in a loop of poor sleep and fake energy. It is time to stop blaming your biology and start looking at your routine. You are not broken. You are just out of balance. Think about your smartphone for a second. We all have that one friend whose phone is constantly glitching. Maybe it is you. You plug it in all afternoon, and the little green icon says the battery is full. It looks ready to go. But the moment you pull that cable out to make a call, the screen goes black. It refuses to turn on. Then, strangely enough, the second you get home and plug it back in for the night, the screen lights up, and it starts acting like it has all the energy in the world. This is exactly what is happening inside your body right now. You are walking around during the day with a battery that says it is full, but you cannot actually use any of that power. You feel sluggish, heavy, and tired. Your internal system is confused about when it should be spending energy and when it should be saving it. You are basically a walking glitch. Your body thinks it is supposed to be in power save mode while you are at your desk trying to work. It is holding on to every bit of energy because it does not know when the next real recharge is coming. Then, the sun goes down. You finally lay your head on the pillow, and suddenly, your brain decides it is time to run a marathon. Your internal software finally kicks in, but it is 12 hours too late. This is because your internal clock is not looking at your watch. It is looking for signals that you are not giving it. By relying on caffeine to wake up and screens to wind down, you have rewritten the code of your own battery. You have taught your body that daytime is for resting and nighttime is for being wide awake. It is frustrating, I know. You feel like you are doing everything right by trying to rest when you can, but you are actually just confusing the system further. You cannot fix a glitchy battery by just leaving it on the charger for longer. You have to reset the entire operating system. You have to show your body exactly when the day begins and when it ends. Right now, your internal timing is a mess, and that is why you feel like a phone that only works when it is plugged into a wall. We have to get you back to a place where you can hold a charge on your own. The very first thing you need to do to fix this is get outside. I am not talking about a 3-mile run or a heavy workout. I am talking about simply standing in the light. When you wake up, your brain is essentially in a fog. It is trying to figure out if it is actually time to be awake or if you are just getting up to use the bathroom. By stepping outside and letting natural light hit your eyes, you are giving your brain the loudest possible wake-up call. Think of it like setting a timer on your oven. The moment that morning light enters your eyes, it flips a switch. It tells your brain to stop producing the chemicals that make you sleepy and start producing the ones that make you feel alert and focused. This is the most natural way to tell your body that the day has officially begun. If you stay inside with the curtains drawn, your body stays in that gray area where you feel half awake and half asleep for hours. You are essentially keeping your brain in the dark about what time it is. You cannot just look through a window. I know it is tempting to just sit by a sunny window with your coffee, but glass actually blocks a lot of the specific light signals your brain needs to see. You need to actually step out the door. Even if it is a cloudy day, the light outside is still much more powerful than any light bulb you have in your house. 5 or 10 minutes is all it takes to reset your system. This simple act does more than just wake you up right now. It sets you up for a better night of sleep later on. When you get that light in the morning, you are starting a countdown clock. Your brain notes the time and says, okay, in about 16 hours, I am going to start making us sleepy again. If you do not give your brain that clear starting point, it will not know when to start the wind-down process tonight. You are basically giving your internal clock a clear map to follow, so you do not have to struggle to fall asleep when your head finally hits the pillow. One of the biggest reasons you lie awake at night staring at the ceiling is because your brain is terrified it will forget something important. It is holding onto that email you forgot to send or that awkward thing you said 5 years ago like its life depends on it. Think of your mind like a computer that has 50 different tabs open at the same time. It is trying to run all these programs at once, and it is making the whole system overheat. You cannot expect to find peace when your internal hard drive is spinning that fast. This is where the brain dump technique comes in. It is exactly what it sounds like. You are going to take all that mental clutter and literally dump it out of your head and onto a piece of paper. This is not about writing a beautiful journal entry or a perfect to-do list. This is about getting the noise out. I want you to grab a physical notebook and a pen. Do not use your phone for this, because the light from the screen will only wake you up more. Write down everything that is bothering you. Write down the tasks you need to do tomorrow. Write down the things that made you angry today. If you are worried about the bills, write it down. If you are stressed about a conversation with your boss, put it on the page. You are telling your brain that it is okay to let go of these thoughts for now because they are safe on the paper. You are giving your mind permission to stop being a storage unit. When you write these things down, you are essentially closing those open tabs. You are showing your brain that the information is recorded and will be there in the morning. This simple act takes the pressure off your nervous system. It is a signal that the workday of the mind is officially over. If you do not do this, your brain will keep looping the same thoughts over and over because it thinks it is helping you. It is not helping. It is keeping you exhausted. Give yourself 5 minutes to be messy and honest on the page so you can finally experience some real quiet. I want you to take a deep breath right now and really listen to what I am saying. You have been running on empty for far too long. I know you might think that being tired is just a part of your personality now, or that you are simply someone who does not sleep well, but I am here to tell you that this is not the truth. You deserve to feel rested. You deserve to wake up without feeling like you are already 10 steps behind on your day. Your body is not your enemy. It is just trying to keep up with everything you are throwing at it, and it needs you to step up and lead the way. It is very easy to feel like you are stuck in this cycle forever, but you actually have a lot more power than you realize. You do not need a fancy machine or a complete life overhaul to start seeing a difference tonight. You just need to give yourself permission to stop. We live in a world that rewards us for being busy and stressed. But there is no trophy for being the most exhausted person in the room. If you do not prioritize your rest, your body will eventually choose a time to stop for you, and that usually happens at the worst possible moment. So tonight, I want you to pick just one small thing we talked about. Maybe you will write down your worries so your brain can stop spinning in circles. Maybe you will put your phone in another room so those bright lights do not trick your brain into thinking it is the middle of the day. It does not have to be a perfect transition. It just has to be a start. You are worth the effort it takes to build a better night for yourself. You are not a machine that can be pushed forever. You are a human being who needs care and quiet to function. Thank you for spending this time with me. I am Zara, and I am so glad you are taking these steps to look after your own well-being. Remember that real change happens one small choice at a time. You have the tools now, and I know you can do this. Go get some real rest tonight. You have earned it. I will see you soon.